Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, we are on the Mark Hoke Show. And wow, did I mess up my camera setup. So we'll fix that in a minute. I just wasn't paying attention. All right. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We're very happy to have you joining us, even though the live stream camera is a little goofy, but we'll take care of that in a second. It is AEW Revolution weekend. And by the way, just so you know, we did record this show. I'm going to LA. Yeah. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see MJF. I can't wait. But I'm very happy I could see this guy for the first hour. The preeminent pro wrestling photographer on the planet. I'm just going to say it, Scoop. I'm just going to do it. I'm giving it to you right now. The Bionic Scoop in the house.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh, man, I'll tell you. God, this camera, I can't believe I forgot to check the camera.
It happens, man.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
As a photographer with the cameras, it happens.
Not to me. But anyway. Wow. What a crazy week, Scoop. I thought we were going to get out of here somewhat unscathed.
Of course not. It's wrestling.
No. And I figured we would start here. Randall Keith Orton. He had a little tete-a-tete with the WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes. And just when you thought they were going to shake hands and play nice, Randy, the Viper is back.
The voices always win, man.
Oh, good old Rev Theory always gets him going. No other way to say it. He beat the hell out of him.
Oh, that was one of the most for modern WWE, one of the most, oh wow, well, they really went there moments.
Yeah, we don't get to see that very often in WWE where somebody gets extremely bloodied, except when it's WrestleMania season and Cody Rhodes, apparently. He has been floored by The Rock, John Cena, Travis Scott, and well, now Randy. But here's the big question, I think, Scoop. Did this get you excited about this main event? Did this get your blood pumping and say, the history be damned, that's not what we care about. Now we have bad Randy Orton back taking on Cody.
There's something about the nostalgia of the 09 Randy Orton, and to see him tap into that for this main event, I think that's going to be big. I think it's going to push this forward because there was so much uncertainty from people. Okay, they put the belt back on him. Now what? Okay, there's your now what.
Yeah.
We now have our now what. Something that a lot of us have been clamoring for, we're getting again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Randy getting turned loose here. One thing, though, that was very interesting on SmackDown, and I'm still trying not to laugh at it, is the crowd wasn't, oh, no, don't do that. No. It was Randy. It was 75% of the crowd, would you say? Probably somewhere in there.
Becky Lynch and Charlotte SummerSlam all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. And it says a couple of things that WWE, I don't know if they expected. Is one, Randy is now the anti-hero again. And I think they just thought, well, if he beats up Cody, everybody loves Cody, so he's just gonna be the heel. Do you realize, Scoop, that we could be headed into WrestleMania on night one, and Randy Orton is the one getting cheered on?
Mm-hmm.
That is unbelievable. And then Cody, I think we've got Cody fatigue. I don't think there's any other way to say it. The people are, and it's not that Cody's doing anything wrong, but Scoop, you know how this is. You have a white meat baby face who's been going on the same kind of path for 4 years, People are just like, we want something different out of them. We're tired of it. So this is an interesting dynamic that WWE is going to have to try to build up and figure out, because, I think the match that it pulls into my mind is the Hogan Rock match at WrestleMania 18.
Mm-hmm.
That all of a sudden everybody's going to be coming out cheering for Randy and like they cheered for Hogan, but at least they got a forewarning on it now, I think. So they can plan this a little bit. Scoop, they wouldn't dare do the double heel turn, would they?
It would be a shocking start to their year. And if you're looking for change and like drastic, hey, we feel the numbers are down, we really need to get this good shot in the arm, giving the people the Homelander Cody they've always wanted could be a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's the traditional roles in pro wrestling died about 15 years ago. You just rarely have a straight up baby face, a straight up heel. And to be honest with you, Scoop, I think it says something about who people really are. Is, would we like to be the White Knight? Yeah, we want to be the hero and everything else. But who we really want to be is the guy who doesn't take any crap from anybody, does whatever the hell he wants, beats people up, robs, steals, does anything they feel, and just does it with a smile. And I think people would rather be a badass than be somebody that's, just kind of vanilla.
It's the shade of gray. Everybody wants to be a shade of gray now.
Yeah.
Not white, black and white, a shade of gray.
Yeah. So, and it's okay to be black or white, by the way.
It's a whole song about that.
Yes, there is. There's a few. But this is going to be very interesting to see how WWE deals with this main event and the shifting of these two characters. It is going to be unbelievable.
And they really have to lean in on the storytelling side. Don't be something physical all the time. We need them to interact. We need them to bring up history and give me Cody trying to talk him off the ledge a bit. Like, hey man, I get it. Like the voices we're winning, but what about all this history? What have we been through? Hey, we did the war games together. Yada yada yada. Give me that. Give me something to feel. Because that was a shock. Now make me feel something.
I think Cody should just try to kill him.
Absolutely.
I think just try.
He should snap.
Yeah, and look, I think back to the WrestleMania with John Cena and Bray Wyatt, where Bray was trying to get John Cena to snap, and he didn't do it. I think it wouldn't be bad to have Cody give in after, he didn't do it last year in that main event with John Cena, where he would had the belt and wouldn't hit him with it, ended up costing him the match. I mean, Cody's been tempted a few times, but I think this is it. I think this would be a double heel turn along the lines, if they do it right, of Bret Hart and Steve Austin.
The double turn is always good when it's done correctly, like you said. That the Austin Bret Hart double turn, you're not going to top that in many circles. It was two amazing performers at their best.
Yeah,
telling a story. So I want it, but please let it be done right.
And you combine all that with the history between the two, which we've talked about a lot on the show, with what has gone on between Cody and Randy over a 20+ year period. It really does have the potential to capture a lot of people's imagination if they do it right. So we'll see what happens, Scoop. It'll be entertaining.
They've been subtly hinting at it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, between Randy's shirt choices and even his interaction with Aleister Black, that people kind of look over. It happened right after the chamber, like right before the chamber. Like right after the chamber, he's like, hey, when I'm done with Drew, I'm coming back for you. And he was like, hey, just acknowledge the voices. It's basically what he was telling him, hey, we know they're there.
Yeah, Randy has been looking at Cody's belt with lustful eyes for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a while. Every time that belt was around him, he was looking at it like, hey baby, come over to my place for a little while. So, yeah, this is going to be a fascinating situation with those two. Another WrestleMania match that it's not official, but people are saying it's going to happen. We have the Brock Lesnar Open Challenge, and Obafemi is the rumored opponent. Of course, just coming up from NXT. He's been, God, why do you have to do that to Johnny Gargano? But but Oba, of course, is just a force of nature and someone that I think really needs to be protected. Do you bring him up to take on a Brock Lesnar, who apparently he and Paul Heyman said not till a retirement match, Brock is not losing, which that could just be a rumor too. But good Lord, do you want to really throw Obafemi to the dogs like that right away? I think that would be a terrible decision.
On the largest stage you have as a company, you want to take your newly minted cash cow and take him out back in front of millions of people and slaughter it. That's what that feels that would be. That would be slaughtering his momentum on the grandest scale.
Yeah, I think it'd be a terrible idea. Do me a favor, get James Ellsworth out there or something. I don't care who it is. Just, let Brock be Brock, but don't ruin this guy. If you watch Obafemi wrestle, even though he's very new to it, you see that he has such a very good understanding of ring psychology and showing emotions and being the person that he should be in the ring. I mean, I got to see him. I don't know if you were at that NXT show over at UFC a couple years ago.
I missed it.
And I was close enough that I could really see his face and really watch his body movements. And he gets it.
The match that did it for me was the triple threat he had with Javon and Trick.
Yeah.
That match was phenomenal. It's three incredibly talented people, but Oba, for as big as he is so good at conveying, like you said, with his face, with his body language, what's going on.
Yeah.
And he can be, and it sounds crazy, but he can be unpredictable too. You're thinking, oh, here you go. Oh, whoa, wait a minute.
He just threw somebody over the announcer's table from inside the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a special talent. And I would just hate it to see WWE waste him by feeding him to Brock. And maybe you do a no contest or something like that. I don't think people would be mad about that because I think there's so many people out there that don't want to see Femi lose that they would take that and have matches down the road with those two.
I'd take a vision run in to stop that.
Yeah. Really?
I
don't know.
Anything to protect the man.
Can they all run? Any of them run?
I only got two left. I mean,
the main three are dunsies for a while, even though Seth's coming back here. But yeah, this is an interesting situation where we're going to see happen with him. And another WrestleMania issue, and there's so many. We're going to get into more in the next segment. But the WWE team is flipping out all over this promotional stuff. Did you notice this, Scoop, that they've changed their theme 4 times on their promotional materials?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And and these people are ticked.
They're
like, what are we doing?
From a graphic design side, that has got to be the most frustrating thing on the planet.
Oh.
Now, from what I've seen lately, they're basically going with 2 different colors, like red, orangish for night 1 and like the blue white light behind them for night 2, based on what I'm seeing, kind of based on the Reigns Punk one. But to give me a initial trailer with guys playing poker, very dark, very brooding, very, very seedy, speak easy-ish here in Vegas, you don't talk about playing poker, to bright, flashy lights. Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's going to be
no continuity.
I feel so bad for those guys. But this has been a very weird WrestleMania season, to say the least. Well, we got the Bionic Scoop of this in here for the first hour of the show. I love this man. I really do. I met him a long time ago. Class act and does incredible work. So, you can look him up. Scoop, what's your Twitter real quick?
It's at the Bionic Scoop. If it's a social media thing, I'm on it as at the Bionic Scoop.
All right. So we will be back with our next segment. More interesting things actually happening in Las Vegas here at WrestleMania.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Yeah, just so you guys know, we did record this show ahead of time because we've got me heading down to Los Angeles for AEW Revolution, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit. But a couple interesting things happened here in Las Vegas. Number one scoop, I don't know if you saw ticket prices. They dropped them again. It went from, some of the lower seats went from $244. I'm sorry, let me find my number here. I think it was like 240 something to 170-ish, somewhere in there. So WWE has once again dropped these ticket prices. Man, Scoop, they are desperate. They are desperate to fill this stadium up. And look, any other promotion that would put together an event that you've sold about 75, 80,000 tickets to, you'd be all right with that. But not WWE, and that's below their standards. So another stunner here is the ticket prices go down again, man.
I'm not surprised. It happened last year too, but it happened even worse closer to the event. It got really low day of. You could walk up and pretty much get where you wanted for a very, very good price, which is wild.
Yeah, I've just never seen anything like this. And, usually these guys just have a great plan. They're ready to roll. And all these flaws keep coming out in what they're doing. You look at just how this has been booked. We're still only have about 5 or 6 matches on the card. And, man, if you want to build a story up, man, you got to do it quicker than 3.5 weeks.
It's what's annoyed me the most about TKO. Is wrestling has always been story driven from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And now everything feels bottom line driven. And then they wedge the story in. It was the other way around initially. Yeah, we'll make our money, but if we tell a good enough story, we're going to make our money.
Right.
Now it's we need to make the money, and it's still something out there. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it is I think that's a terrific point, that there's just a real inverse in the priority of what they've been doing in WWE, because they usually they nail it. But I suppose I'll say this. They got spoiled on the Bloodline story. And they just, Cody just kind of wavered through his title reign. And then the thing with John Cena happens, bombs out. Cody gets the title back, and there we are again. And we talked in the last segment about the Cody fatigue too. So this is a really tough spot. And I think part of what is also feeding into this is the stuff like the ticket prices being so ridiculous. All the events going on in town, very high priced. And this situation that we had talked about a while back, where they were blacking out all the parties, all the watch parties. Nope, can't do it. Well, they've reversed their stance on that now. And Circa announced that they're going to be having their WrestleMania event over there, and other places across the city are going to be having their WrestleMania parties. And it's Scoop, that ticked everybody off.
Oh, they have to be mad because you've adjusted your pricing and scheduling around that. Now you've got these venues that basically, when they announced this, just took 10 to 20 grand off the bottom line. Now we can get it back, and now we've already booked everything.
Yeah, and you think about that, it's like, okay, we're going to plan to do WrestleMania. You take it away, so we're going to replace it with something else. We got to fill the bar.
Correct. You're not going to have the space just be empty.
And now you say, hey guys, it's 3.5 weeks out, 4 weeks. Well, here, go. You got it. Oh my God.
Hey guys, allow us to cancel your Q&A you had planned, because now we're going to make more money on short notice. So I know you've already sold tickets and I got to refund everything. Now you're going to lose money because we want to hold this. That's what's going to lead to. And that's a terrible look across the board for everyone, because one company went coin flip. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this will the reaction, I think, for the Las Vegas community, which has already been coming under fire because nobody felt like they should be doing a WrestleMania in the same city back to back years, which is a very legitimate point.
I agree with them. I as much as the experience was cool last year, it almost feels a little like, yep, here we go again. I would rather have that break that you don't know what you missed until it's gone.
Right. Yeah, and New Orleans, I'm sure, is still steaming.
I feel terrible for New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going to be very, very interested to see how Las Vegas welcomes WrestleMania and how the fans coming in but do as well. But you're not selling the tickets, and we live here. We know that Las Vegas is trying to maybe figure it out again because they took the same route that WWE did on let's get greedy. Let's try and cater to these people up here. And you know what? We don't need these guys down here because one of these is worth 100 of them. And that's the route they took. That's the route the city took with the casinos. That's the route TKO has taken. And it's not working. It's not working,
especially with wrestling. It's built on that blue collar person.
Mm-hmm.
It's stories that relate to that person. Why would you alienate them?
Yeah, it's been something that you've passed down generation to generation. Yes. It's a family thing, even though sometimes there are moments where they're not that family. But the fun of taking your kids, of going with family members and going to these big events and going to WrestleMania, it's special. I mean, I remember WrestleMania 1. I'm going to really date myself here. A bunch of us went to a closed circuit outlet, York Suburban High School. Man, we were pumped. Oh, man, we were pumped.
Man, I remember the first live event I went to. My dad took me to. Actually, he bought the tickets and had to end up going with the work thing, so I don't go with my mom. We went to it was the Tacoma Dome, August 1994. The main event was Bret Hart and Razor Ramon versus in a tag team match against Owen Hart and Davey Boy.
Wow, there you go.
It was amazing. I remember everything about that day, and I was blessed to be able to work WrestleMania 19 when I worked for the Seattle Mariners, and that's something that I'll never forget. And I don't think people that focus on the bottom line understand those stories and those feelings are what hold wrestling together. That's why the independents are still booming, because they still have that feeling of the independents. I can bring my kids to a show and have a great time and then see guys that have been on TV or guys that I've seen, on internet clips, and they can still connect to that.
Yeah. And, you brought up your first live card. Mine, we had Sergeant Slaughter and the Samoans taking on, actually, I think one of the Samoans didn't show up, which really sucked, but it was Dick Murdoch, Adrian Adonis, Lou Albano. We were supposed to have Ivan Putski against Jesse Ventura, and Jesse didn't show, but we all had a blast, and you can't take that away. You can't take that away. And, when they go over to WWE World and you're charging them, $100 to get in and, hundreds of dollars for autographs, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I'm not spending $400 for a heartless handshake from someone in a photo.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Liv Morgan, I would.
Not same.
Well, here's another thing that happened with WWE this week that kind of goes to this feeling of arrogance coming from them. And that was, as you know, they are covered by ESPN. They have that lousy $30 channel that everybody's having to overpay for to watch premium live events.
I refuse to pay for that.
It's ridiculous. Well, they stopped the ESPN team over there from putting letter grades on the reviews for the shows. Because, of course, the guys over there are very honest. If it was, they say it was, But they have decided, ESPN supposedly decided that, well, we don't really need this. We don't need those grades. We'll write about the matches, but
Yet
but we don't have to put a C+ on there. It's all right.
Yet people complain about participation trophies. Yet here is a giant one.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's the song? You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this feels like. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's unbelievable that they would do this, and
if you put on a C card, you put on a C card.
Yeah.
You may not like to hear it, but I can't say, hey, can you take that bad mark off my work review?
Nope.
I'd really like to stay here. Like, you can't do that.
It's and like I said, it plays into this notion that everybody is getting, and the perception that, look, WWE just wants to, and TKO just want to keep everybody over there, and control everything. And it's a stupid thing. Here, this is what you do to solve that problem. Instead of taking away the letter grades, stop doing B to B- shows. That solves that real quick. It really does. Just do a little better. But man, this is a bizarre. I'm kind of at a loss for words a little bit, because I've never seen WWE be in such a weird position where, of course Vince and everybody got criticized all the time. Of course they did. But this is a little different. This is like they're putting themselves up on the mountaintop and looking down on all of us and saying, this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to enjoy, whether you like it or not. And it's not working.
That may work for UFC with TKO, because it's much like wrestling. It's a niche product.
Yeah.
But the difference with wrestling is you're not just putting two people in an octagon, letting them fight, winner takes all. This is a year-round, constant thing. It's not, hey, we got a pay-per-view in a month and a half. We do some promo work, and there we are. Pay-per-view is over. No, this is weekly episodic programming. You've blitzed the social media side. So now we got episodic. We've got social media based. You're on the preeminent major sports network. You're on one of the most popular cable networks. You're on Tubi with like,
yeah.
This isn't just a little thing, and you're treating it, and it feels like TKO is treating it like it is every episode of Raw, every episode of SmackDown, every main event taping is a UFC event. And they compartmentalize it so much that it feels corporate and empty.
Yeah. And that's not what this is all about.
It never has been.
Now, I'm going to, before we go to break here, just real quick, Scoop, what are you looking forward to at WrestleMania? Because let's not totally bang on this whole thing. What are you thinking is going to be a great time at WrestleMania?
Jade and Rhea is going to be fun.
You're excited about that?
I'm excited about it, because I feel with the outside pressure with Jade and her progression, what has been in the ring, Rhea is the perfect dance partner.
Wow. See,
because Rhea's going to push her, because Rhea can push anyone.
That is true, and I'm sure she's going to be able to take her to a pretty good level. So we'll see what happens there. All right, we are going to head to break. Bionic Scoop joining me, Mark Hoke, here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go get that app right now, and I'm trying to see the sunshine will never turn to rain. Do it. We'll be right
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, I'm getting the hang of this, everybody. I promise. I'm having to do things way differently than I normally do here on the Mark Hoke Show. The best in pro wrestling right here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Streaming on the Odyssey app, and the live stream will be going on too, even though we are recording the show. So, Scoop, you can comment on yourself.
I can comment on myself.
I'd like to see that. I may do it too. I'm going to be driving down to LA for AEW Revolution, but I may tell myself I suck.
I do that all the time.
No, I'd never do that. I'm going to tell everybody I'm the best. Denise Salcedo. Anyway, AEW Revolution coming up tomorrow. Well, actually today when we're recording this, but this is going to be Scoop. This show is packed. It's packed, man.
It's deep, man.
Tony delivers once again, and I wonder if he's going to yell at me about how many matches we had. I don't know if you saw that, Scoop. That
I did.
Yeah. So let's kind of take ourselves through this a little bit to wrap up this first hour. I'm fascinated by this opening match, the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW National Championship held by Ricochet. Tommaso Ciampa is in this match. He's already won one title. Plus, we have 19 other people that will be trying to take that belt off Ricochet. Ricochet's been doing a pretty good job with this thing. Do you give it to Ciampa? Or do you find somebody else? Or is this Ricochet's house in Los Angeles?
I'm 50-50. I wouldn't mind if Tommaso won it, but I really appreciate what Ricochet's done with it. He's had some solid feuds for it. Him and Jungle Boy have been amazing. I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
Yeah, I'm good with Ricochet keeping the belt, but a Ricochet Ciampa feud, feed me that all day long, man. Oh, yum. Did I really do that on the air? I think I did.
You did.
I did. That's all right. Woke everybody up. Willow Nightingale and Lena Cross are pulling double duty on this card. Poor two women. Willow Nightingale will be defending her TBS championship against Lena Cross to kick this thing off. And then later on in the show, it's going to be the Women's World Tag Team Championship where the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, are going to be teaming against Megan Bayne and Lena Cross.
She's losing one of them.
I agree. Question is which one?
Which one? Probably tag.
I think so too. I'm sure they're gonna do that TBS title match first, and something's gonna happen.
Some little schmozzy.
Yeah, and I would imagine that Megan Bayne and Lena Cross will probably walk out with the tag titles, but you never know. Tony loves those two. He loves Willow. He loves Harley, and I love Harley too, by the way. And who, by the way, a while back took some unnecessary flack about something that happened outside of a ring. But you know what? Those people can jump in a lake. But Harley Cameron is so talented.
Ridiculously talented. She's, first of all, hilarious.
Yeah.
Musically talented. Incredibly talented.
I'd marry her.
Hey, man.
Dude,
do what you gotta do.
You couldn't tell me that if she walked up to you and said, you know what, Scoop? You're my guy. Will you spend the rest of your life with me? And you wouldn't do it?
I'd wonder what she was on.
Who cares?
I do, because you're thinking very short term. You still there's a lot of stuff involved in that.
Dude, just get split it in half if it doesn't work out. You're all good. She gets
half of nothing.
You get a puppet. I bet there'd be a Bionic Scoop puppet involved.
Oh God, be a terrible puppet.
Scoop.
That's a terrible
Yeah, but that's going to be interesting for both of those two ladies coming up on at AEW Revolution tomorrow. Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall are going to be teaming up. Marshall, taking on the Infantry. And I'm going to tell you something. Last time I was down in LA, the biggest pop that anybody got was Big Boom AJ. No questions asked. They love that guy.
Good for him.
So he's going to kill somebody. That's fine.
Probably.
Yeah. So I can live with that. I'm going to skip the main events list here. We get FTR in the Bucks. Chapter 4.
It's never bad.
No, I don't care who wins.
Nope.
I don't care who wins at all. I just hope it's
probably going to be
match.
25 minutes of absolute tag team chaos, which is never a bad thing.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, who you picking? Who do you think is going to win this thing? Don't think too hard.
Head says FTR, heart says.
All right, I'm gonna say FTR wins this one. I'm good with that. So we'll see how that turns out. We also have on the card, and bear with me for 1 second because I'm doing a few things here. Mox and Takeshita, which the fans booed when they had a 20-minute time limit draw. They were ticked. They wanted that match to keep going. Well, how long does this no time limit match go between Mox and Takeshita for the Continental Championship? I'm not worried about who wins the belt. I want to know how long this goes. Does it go over Broadway, which is termed for 60 minutes, Scoop? Do you think it goes over 60?
Maybe. These two guys have been beating the tar out of each other for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And they are some of the most violent, hard-hitting matches I've watched on AEW TV that didn't involve weapons. And can they sustain that for an hour? I don't know.
They can.
Will I watch it? Absolutely.
Oh. And I'm going to tell you, the atmosphere, at the last one that was in LA, with Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, when they had that steel cage match, and they just beat the hell out of each other for like a half hour plus. This is going to be worse in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
In a good way. So I don't care who wins the title. I just want to see them destroy each other for a while. We haven't had a good Broadway match in a while, so let's do that. Andrade El Idolo, who is wrestling very well, and I made the case last week that I thought he should have been the guy challenging MJF for the title here in Los Angeles, which I really felt would have been got the LA crowd going. You get all the Hispanic fans are just rolling in there, and that's cool. He's taking on Bandito, so we have a little luchador on luchador crime, and very powerful men too.
Yeah,
this should be a terrific showcase for both of these guys.
I implore anyone listening and watching to, if Bandito was on the card, watch him live. It is some of the most impressive physical feats in wrestling you will ever watch. And then Andrade is just smooth. It's just going to be such a good match.
And, I still have not figured out how Andrade has just gotten bounced back and forth. And he's incredible. He's absolutely incredible. And that word you use, smooth, perfect description. Perfect description.
I argue it's the 8 inches between his ears, but yeah.
There may be some debates with some OnlyFans models about that, but should be fun. I'm just wondering who's going to go over. That's a tough call. I think it's Andrade. I think Andrade goes over.
Has to.
Brody King takes on Swerve Strickland. So we get to hear more fun stuff from the fans for a little bit. That's going to be unbelievable. But this has got really violent, and they had two rough segments on Dynamite and Collision. Man, these two guys are going to kill each other.
Absolutely.
But I know who's going to win. It's Swerve's house, man. It's Swerve's house. This is going to be a hometown loss for Brody. And but I think there's going to be possibly some fallout from this, because if Swerve does win this match, where does that put Brody? He's back down the ladder. And they kind of dug themselves a little bit of a hole with this ice thing. Maybe this is the way to kind of get Brody out of there for a little while and let that cool down.
If you do that, you're going to have to kill him. Like, absolutely.
Swerve will kill him.
I mean, like, put him through, like, flaming spiked table, 1, 2, 3, go away.
Yeah. I think this is going to be it, but I think it's going to be a great match. So looking forward to that one. Tekla and Chris Statlander, you and I were talking about that a little bit. Tekla is just, man, she is the female heel right now in pro wrestling.
So good. so good. Not just on the mic, but in the ring. So good.
You kind of wish Chris could find that little extra that Tekla has. If Chris Statlander could just find that little extra charisma, the little extra being able to pull people in, Chris would be on that level. I mean, as a wrestler, she is. There's no question about that. But I saw that interview that she did before she lost the title, and she does seem a little insecure about what she's doing in the ring, which is, if I was sitting down talking to her, I interviewed her a few years ago. But if I was talking to her, I'd be like, there's nothing for you to feel bad about. Nothing. You're amazing. We love you. Just want to put my arms around her, give her a hug.
Fantastic athlete.
Yeah. But Tekla's walking out with a belt.
100%.
Yeah, she is doing something really special. Don Callis family, Okada, Fletcher, Davis take on Mystico, Jet Speed. Personally, I think the Callis family is probably going to kill them, but who knows? What do you think?
I'm wondering where they're going to go with Swerve talking to Kevin.
Oh yeah,
where are they going to go with that? Because this could be the beginning of those seeds being planted by Swerve. We'll find out.
We got Timeless Tony Storm and Marina Shafir. Oh my God,
that's going to be a war.
Everyone's barred from ringside. Once again, I don't care who wins that match. Just
they're going to be
tear each other apart. That one's going to be a lot of fun. Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong take on the Dogs, who are now in AEW. David Finlay, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd. They wouldn't let the Dogs lose the first match, would they?
They can't.
No way.
Please don't.
Man, that would be stupid. But yeah, so you'll get to see the debut of these guys on an AEW pay-per-view. And then MJF and Hangman Adam Page for the World Championship. Texas Death Match. It's a last chance to Texas Death Match. If Page loses, never able to challenge for the AEW World Championship again. And really, I think MJF should stay the champion. But I hate that stipulation, Scoop. I think you're locking yourself in.
I didn't like it when Cody did it. I don't like it now. At least put the stipulation as long as I'm champion.
Yeah, that would solve the problem.
If it was as long as I hold this belt, you can't challenge anymore.
Yep.
I'm always cool with that stipulation. But never again,
no.
Ever again.
Unless you're firing Hangman. I'm sorry, Hangman. Don't hurt me when I'm down there tomorrow. Who wins, Scoop?
I hate to say it, but no one's on the level of the devil.
I agree. And I can't wait for MJF to walk into the scrum.
Toss the belt in the desk, sit down bloody, and go off.
Oh, he's gonna try to go off.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not getting one over on me.
Oh, it's not on you.
No.
Not anymore?
No, he can. I'm ready for the man. I'm ready.
You've been training?
Yeah, I'm going to take him out.
All right.
That's not in a literal way, everybody. I'm not going to do something stupid like that. But I will handle the man.
Verbal jousting?
Yeah, let's play. Max. By the way, Max has been doing some great interviews, and I would suggest you check those out. Scoop.
Yes, sir.
We're wrapping up hour number 1 here of the Mark Hoke Show, and very thrilled to have you sitting in with us. Tell everybody a little bit about your work before we get you out of here.
So I've been in photography since I was 12 years old, started on film, black and white, and now I took my love of professional wrestling since I was 3 and my love of photography and mashed them together. I shoot most of the indies here in the area. I created my first photo book this year. It's on Amazon. It's called Shutter Clicks and Super Kicks.
Nice.
Yes, it's available. It's only $15 for a paperback.
Can I get an autographed copy, Scoop?
If you ask me, nice.
Please.
Yes.
Please. All right, Scoop. Hey, thanks for coming in today.
Welcome,
certainly do appreciate it. And you have changed your mind. Come on. I'm driving down.
Gotta work, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sucks to be you. All right, everybody. That's hour number 1 of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. We're always putting stuff up there. I got some more stuff I got to throw on here a little bit later on. And, of course, Stick around. Hour 2 is coming up. It's going to be a blast. You get to listen to me for another hour talk wrestling. It's awesome. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show. Boy, I'll tell you, had a great time there. Hour number 1 with the Bionic Scoop. Yeah! We're going to bring a whole lot more coming up. We're going to be, of course, I'm going to AEW Revolution today. So this show is pre-recorded, just so you know. But when this is on, I will be driving to the nightmarish state of California. But I'll tell you what, a lot going on. And we're going to try and hit as much as we can. Talked a lot about what was going on with WWE and WrestleMania in hour number 1. But there's so many other different little things going on that's got everybody a little fired up. Shall we start with OVW? Ohio Valley Wrestling. Of course, we all know Ohio Valley is the former training ground for WWE. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Dave Bautista, Randy Orton, all came out of OVW. Well, we had a little problem. So during a match at OVW this week, there was a spot where two guys were wrestling, and one of them did a flying body press onto the referee, Dallas Edwards. When Edwards went down for the spot, he didn't just go floppy down. He went down and was having seizures in the ring. And guess what the two guys did? At least if you see the video. And a lot of people are saying, we got to take that down. That's not cool. But one of them just moved him out of the way and they kept going. Yikes. And of course, the pro wrestling universe immediately leapt onto these two gentlemen and OVW for not handling it right away. They eventually did get a bunch of people into the ring and got Mr. Edwards out of there. He suffered a concussion and a subdural hematoma. But he is recovering nicely in the hospital, so that's great news for the very popular referee. A lot of people coming to the defense of Dallas Edwards and saying he's awesome, dude. But, of course, many people are criticizing OVW, Al Snow, who owns OVW, and the two wrestlers for continuing to go forward. Now, I get it, but you've got to remember one thing in the reaction to this. It's pro wrestling. If a guy jumps off a top rope trying to hit something, lands on the referee, and they're not necessarily trained to recognize a seizure, they may think that, look, how many times have we seen guys go down and they do, I'm not saying it's 100% right, but here is what Tony Evans, who is one of the wrestlers, said about what happened. He expressed support for love for Dallas Edwards, wished them the best. So here's the explanation. During Thursday's match, there was a planned spot that resulted in an unexpected injury to Dallas. The match was 35 plus minutes with 12 men, 2 run-ins, and 2 referee bumps. Dallas's time came as planned, and everything seemed fine from my point of view. The next sequence had me falling next to Dallas and crawling away with my back turned to him. So he's facing away. Having my eyes focusing on the other wrestlers in the ring, though I knew where Dallas was. As we set up for the next thing in my periphery, I noticed Dallas was still close to center as he didn't know what we were doing next. So they never told the referee what was supposed to be happening. That probably was a mistake. As we set up for the next thing in my periphery, noticed Dallas was still close to center. He didn't know what we were doing next, so I go to move him. Dallas and I have worked together frequently, and he will usually always go dead weight as I try to move him. So there's another problem. When I touched him was the first time I had laid eyes on him specifically to this point for a brief second, and I saw OVW officials running from the back, but assumed it was for the chaos that had just happened outside of the ring. I go to move him and scooted him with my foot, as I usually would, not realizing the severity of what was going on in that moment, as I was under the impression everything was going according to plan. I then did the next spot and turned to find many people in the ring huddled around Dallas and stopped in my tracks, confused, scared, and worried for my friend. Had I known in that split second moment when I moved him that something was wrong, I would have immediately stopped and tended to him as best I knew how. I wish I had known the severity of the situation. Nothing more is more important in pro wrestling than the safety of all involved. Dallas and I have spoken. We're good. He understands there was no malicious intent. And per Dallas, he doesn't hold it to any of us personally, and his perspective is one that matters most to me. I am as distraught about this situation as everybody. My heart hurts knowing what my friend has gone through. I look forward to being back with him in the OVW locker room soon and wish him a full and speedy recovery. Love you, Davey. Okay. So, of course, everybody is just blasting these guys, and especially Tony Evans. How much of that is realistic blasting, and how much is it he didn't know what was going on? And I think that everybody needs to, I mean, there are people screaming, everybody should be fired. Okay. But I think that one thing that you got to realize is that this is a planned spot. And if the referee was supposed to go down, he went down. Now, should you be guys be trained to recognize what a seizure is? Yeah. I did see one person, good suggestion, that said, hey, everybody gets trained first aid CPR. You're a pro wrestler, you get trained on that. That's a good idea. But I think everybody's being way too hard on Tony Evans. Way too hard. This was a situation where this person was supposed to be on the ground. Now, maybe his instinct should have kicked in a little bit better. I would probably grant you that. But overall, this was the plan. Bammo, downo, see you later-o. As my Italian baseball team would say. Actually, I'm a U.S. guy, but they're Italian. But, man, I think everybody's got to get off his case a little bit. The solution, like I said, I think it would be a very good idea to teach everybody first aid CPR, so you know how to recognize that. Now, of course, how do you organize that? That's up to each promoter, I would say. But if you're doing pro wrestling, it wouldn't hurt. No matter if you're an official. I mean, ring announce doesn't matter. It would be a good thing. And apparently, Dallas Edwards is cool with all of it. He understood. Not mad. And he's recovering. But boy, guys, This is the way journalism now is now, and it drives me nuts. Here's a video. No other perspective is like, oh, well, you just grabbed her. Let's curse him. Not the Danhausen way. But gosh, you got to give him a little leeway on this, I think. I really do. So we want to wish Dallas Edwards all the best, and I'm sure Tony Evans is feeling kind of bad too. So let's back off, all right? Figure out a way to avoid this situation again. But this was all over the place. Man, all over the place. Speaking of wrestlers hitting people, Hamburguesa. We saw the big burger boy in AAA. But guess what? He gone. He hit a fan. How can you be so stupid? WWE buys AAA. You are this close. This close to reaching your ultimate dream of being in WWE. I know he wrestled a couple WWE matches. God, you're a dullard. There I give no credit. I don't care if he insulted your mom. You don't hit fans. And then there's a video that surfaced of Hijo del Tirantes, a AAA referee, also hitting a fan. The hell's going on in AAA? Maybe AAA ought to talk to Triple H, get the Undertaker down there, and bury these guys. Good Lord. So, hasta la vista, burger boy. Dumb. Wow. Another guy got hit this week, and that was The Miz. And who did he get hit by? Oh, none other than Jelly Roll. My God. Help. Of course, this was a skit. He was doing a little work with Kit Wilson. And Jelly Roll popped The Miz. So we could be on our way to another Jelly Roll appearance at WrestleMania. Or a Jelly Roll appearance at WrestleMania. Probably, teaming up with Royce Keys. That's what they're saying. Kit Wilson got this whole thing rolling, and we may be getting Jelly Roll and Royce Keys. I bet Powerhouse Hobbs right now is just sitting around saying, this is W. He'll have fun. Oh boy, I get Team Jelly Roll. He'll take me down to the studio. I can break something. How about we give Royce Keys a serious push? He's been gone since he showed up at the Royal Rumble. They don't know what to do with him. How do you not know what to do with that monster? Are you kidding me? Oh, hey, I got it. Back in class. Yep. Oh, yes, you, the new guy. Put him with Jelly Roll. Yeah. Come on. I don't know. And it's interesting that this is another creative situation. We talked about some of the creative issues that are going on in WWE right now. Well, we lost the Road Dogg. He resigned. And I got to say, I think that part of what happened on WWE Unreal, where he kind of stepped in it a little bit, did that make him the scapegoat for what's been going on in WWE? It's like, oh, it's a Road Dogg's fault. Oh, it's, Bruce Pritchard's fault. It's all the old guys. Okay, so you're going to make that case, right? Okay, he's gone now. What do you give me? You give me Jelly Roll. It's not the Road Dogg's fault. Stops at the top, man. I do a bad show, that's on me. I can't blame anybody else. Just unreal. So, I'm sorry, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Well, we also have been getting ready for AEW Revolution, by the way. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman was out there a lot. And I'm going to say this about Max. Does that guy understand the business or what? He really, really does. I got to give him a ton of credit. And you hear the way he talks, how he carries himself, everything that he does is fantastic. He gets it. Why do I say he gets it? Let's take a look at some of the comments that Senior Friedman has been making while he's been out there doing his thing. Pull those up here real fast. I apologize. Hang in there. Spoke on the locker room. There's no BS. There's no more cancers. There's no more that think they're too cool for school. There's no more. I don't know. I know that's a Jewish word. I'm not going to take a chance that I can't say it. That think they should be elsewhere. Everybody in this promotion wants to be in this promotion. And if you don't, you get weeded out pretty damn fast because we'll beat the blank out of you and send you packing. There you go. That's the leader. That's the leader. Big props to MJF on that one. I can totally get down with that. What else did Maxwell Jacob Friedman say? This was can't totally say it, but right now it's about fresh faces. It's about the new young guys. It's about pushing the guys that are under 40. There's a bam shot at WWE into emphasis. It's about giving opportunities to individuals that want to be in All Elite Wrestling. If you don't want to be in AEW, bleep off. Go have fun elsewhere. We don't want you here. Everyone in that locker room right now wants to be in AEW because it's the most competitive locker room. It's where the best wrestle. It's where you get compensated the way you should be compensated for your talents. It's where you're treated like a human being. And right now, there's never been a better team atmosphere in the history of the AEW locker room. It's from John Alba. That's impressive. You know, and it's just funny, you know. Now you can turn around and say, you know, Max, you were talking about WWE a little bit before, you know, in the free agency. Okay. So if you want to flip that around, I understand where you would come from on that. But credit the dude. He wants to, and this is something I'm here. When I coached, I didn't necessarily want to take over the top team. I wanted to build something. And you've got to bring everybody together. You've got to convince them that you're all fighting for that one thing. And then when I won championships, I didn't win it because I had somebody else's players. And Max wants to do that too. I mean, big props. MJF, I'll see you tomorrow, or actually today. We're recording on Saturday. And then I'm going to insult you if you insult me. And then I'm going to, congratulate you. Very good stuff, Max. Very good. And then real quick, let's see what we got. Yeah, and Donovan Dijak had some things to say too. That's a guy that I miss. Man, he's so good. He is so good. You remember when he was fighting Keith Lee? God, it seems so long ago. But let's find these Donovan Dijak comments real fast. I hope I can find them. I might have lost it. Oh, that would be too bad. But bear with me. I'm trying one more time. And if I don't, well, we'll just move on. All right. I'll find those Dijak comments later. But he's really proud. Oh, and he was talking about what we talked about in the first hour with how having set roles of babyface and heel in pro wrestling isn't necessarily the way to go anymore. You can't really do it. But he thinks things may be changing back. Interesting. So maybe we'll try and get to that a little bit later on here. But we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Could we have a lot of ladies matches on the WWE WrestleMania card? Fascinating there. Sam Roberts thinks somebody should be lining up for a world championship. Some of you are going to be really mad when you hear who, and a lot more coming up. Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And let's get back to it. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We are also streaming on the Odyssey app. And by gum, you need to get that Odyssey app right now. AUDACY. Listen to this show whenever you want. You can listen to all of our great shows on KDAWN, plus all through the Odyssey network. 220 stations, guys. Where are you going to get that kind of material anywhere else? Please tell me. It's amazing. Maybe that little redheaded girl is going to fall in love with you if you download the Odyssey app. Or Charlie Brown, whichever way you want to go. So get that right now. Also follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, The Mark Hoke Show. And join us on our journey, man. Things are getting really cool, and I'm seeing some neat stuff happening on social media. So come on in. Water's fine. So am I. All right. Some matches are getting speculated. Some are already locked up for WrestleMania. But right now, we could have a historic amount of women's matches in WWE at WrestleMania 42. This is cool. And you know, once again, this is speculation on some of this. But boy, I'm excited. We saw the Bella Twins show up. We're going to talk about, oh, God, we're going to talk about Brie. I don't want to, but we will just for fun if we can get it in. But this is what we are and could be looking at. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's title. Stephanie McCare, Liv Morgan, we got that for the Women's World Championship. Io Sky versus Asuka. That one looks like it could be coming. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss against the irresistible forces. That's Nia Jackson, Lash Legend. And could lock them in, get the Bella Twins involved, who are now somehow. How are the Bella Twins the #1 tag team contenders? You knew it was coming. I'm sorry, guys. Can't save you. Could have the Bella Twins and Bailey and Lyra Valkyria involved in that. Tiffany Stratton and Julia. Looks like that one may be coming for the U.S. title. And AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. That's awesome. Congratulations to the ladies. Now, when I said last week, do I think that there's a women's match that would be a headliner? No. That's a lot of good stuff right there. The boys better be watching their backs. That'll be a lot of fun. I mean, I hope Becky wins the IC title back. But Becky, focus. Focus, no caps lock. Please stop. Please stop. Io Sky and Asuka, that'll be a great one. Tag title matches got some potential, but no, I can't even ask. I can't even ask if the Bella Twins will not be in that match. I can't. But this is looking pretty good for WrestleMania for the ladies. So we'll see how all of that ends up. But we also got comment from Sam Roberts. There's two radio guys out there that are WWE guys. One, Sam Roberts. Love Sam. I think Sam's great. Other, Peter Rosenberg. Okay. I'm just going to let it go. Little water blower. I'm going to act like Triple H at a pay-per-view. Okay. But Sam Roberts thinks that it's just about time for Logan Paul to be in the World Championship picture and probably win it. Boy, I'll tell you. And take that phrase, Logan Paul, World Champion. And you want to see heads explode? But I'm gonna put it out there. I agree. I don't think it needs to happen now. But look, I know there's people that don't like Logan for whatever reason. He's damn good. Especially for the time that he's had in the ring. Phenomenal. And what can't he do? He's a great promo. He's got all this original social media content and the things that he does. Very smart guy. Just made $10 on a Pokemon card. Nice work if you can get it. But Logan Paul on top. Oh my God. I want you to just picture that for a second. You may be sitting there saying to yourself, why would I want Logan Paul as the world champion? Because all the good guys will chase him. Remember, woo! And everybody coming after Ric Flair all across the world. You don't think that wouldn't happen with Logan Paul? And he's going to do great interviews, great promoting of events. I'm cool with it. Now, when will it happen? I don't know. But the way WWE's going there, look, they may be thinking we've got to get a shot in the arm. We talked when Maxwell Jacob Friedman said, hey, we don't have all the guys under 40 or over 40, like, you might as well have said, like WWE. Why not? There have been times where, when David Arquette won the WCW championship, everybody was furious. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. David Arquette? I would have challenged David Arquette for the championship. I've never wrestled a match. I've beat up the Grinch one time in the ring. I would have challenged him. Would I want to challenge Logan Paul? No. I could never. No way I could hang with that guy. I could train for a year and I still can't hang for the guy. So I'm all right with that. I think Logan Paul would be a fun world champion. He'd drive everybody crazy. Think Honky Tonk Man in a way, but an actual celebrity and a really good wrestler who flies all over the place. I'm cool with it. So interesting comments by Sam Roberts. Look those up. Pretty good thinking on that one. And of course, we just had the situation with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And Cody is attacked by Randy. Bloodied, beat up, battered, destroyed. That's the Viper we know. Oh, yeah. Let's go. But I got to say, that was one heck of a promo. Now, we talked in the first hour a little bit about this, about how you have a guy like Randy Orton who's getting cheered and Cody getting, booed or, just somewhat of indifferent. And I do apologize. I got the Dobbin Jack comments here. I think a lot of current fans, wrestlers don't realize that when live fans returned to 21, there was a massive shift from the way it used to be. From 1996 to 2019, good guys got booed and bad guys got cheered constantly. Very true. We really had to earn the right to get the desired reaction. After 2020, fans were honestly just so excited to have live wrestling back that for the most part, they loudly supported whatever story was being provided. Also true. It's been 5 years now, and I think we're beginning to see the shift back in that previous direction. In my opinion, there are pros and cons to both sides, but as wrestlers, I think this kind of trend is wonderful because it forces us to listen and adjust to the voices of the fans at all times, and that's what this craft is really all about, and it is. Look, I said, I've never truly wrestled a match. But if I can go out and get people to boo me or I get them to cheer me, that's a big piece of the puzzle. Look, you have guys out there that can fly all over the place, that'll, brawl in the ring or whatever. But if nobody cares, it doesn't work. So I give Dijak credit on that. That is a terrific point. And now Cody and Randy Trips are going to have to sit down and figure this out. What direction do you take? Do you decide, okay, they don't want Cody Rhodes right now. They want Randy. They want to cheer Randy. So we said first hour, double heel turn possibility. Do you maybe do something along the lines of Randy beats him up and Cody says, I don't want to get beat up by you, sir. Like, we did in Legacy. Just let me be your pal. And Rhodes becomes a lackey. There's all sorts of possibilities. But it is about eliciting that reaction. And I don't know how WWE is going to necessarily feel when we get to Allegiant Stadium and Randy Orton is the one getting cheered. That's going to be tough. But, maybe they won't have a problem with it. I don't know. But fascinating situation there with Cody Rhodes. You know what? Let's also talk again about the situation with Brock Lesnar, the big man, and Obafemi. But is it legit that Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman should say that Brock can't lose until his retirement match? And I'm just saying this right now. No. Brock doesn't barely lose his period in his entire career. But if we're leading up to a retirement tour, you gotta expect Brock to lose every once in a while. But not with Obafemi. I would not do that. Gunther has somehow disappeared. This man in this year is retired. AJ Styles, John Cena, and Goldberg. And all of a sudden it's like Guntheritis. Don't want it. Give me Brock and Gunther. You could get away with Gunther losing the match. But I'll tell you what. Would I want to watch those guys fight for a year? Yes, do it. Do it. Oh, that'd be brutal. Absolutely brutal. Remember when, for you older fans, remember Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine were feuding for over a year in the Mid-Atlantic region? And every night they do a dog collar match, and Greg would just pound on Roddy's ear and just turn it into a big pile of bloody mush. Ugh. Give me that. Yes. Give me something interesting. You mentioned in the first hour about it being, the letter grades being taken away from ESPN when they're reviewing their cards. Man, give me a brutal, bloody, painful 9 to 12 month feud with Gunther and Brock Lesnar. I'm down. I'm down, man. Give it to me. Give it to me. By the way, Mercedes Moné of AEW is down to 5 belts. That's right. Got up 13. She's down to 5. As she loses to Mila Smith, who becomes the new EWA champion. So once again, Mercedes down to 5. But she's actually enjoying it. God bless her. Because look what she is doing for women's wrestling. We talked about MJF's leadership, and people love to hammer Mercedes Moné. She was the worst horseman. She's not. She's just doing this for a vanity project. You're starting to see the outcome of this now. Because not only is it about the collapse and a meteoric collapse of Mercedes Moné, but it's also about getting interest on the indies and other promotions worldwide and focused on women's wrestling. And that can't be a bad thing. It cannot. So be proud of her. I mean, think about also the traveling. I mean, those belts were all over the planet. She didn't have to do that, but she did. And, it's fantastic. Gotta feel good for Mercedes Moné. And boy, I'll tell you one thing. When the time comes that she's going to get a shot at the AEW World Championship again, she'll be the champ. She's going to deserve it. So pretty cool stuff there from Mercedes Moné. All right, we're going to be headed to break here in just a little bit. Do want to remind everybody, hey, tune into AEW Revolution. Going to be an awesome card, guys. 4 Pacific for the opening of the show, the 0 hour, and then we're going to get a ton of wars coming out of Los Angeles. I'll be down at the crypto.com arena. If you're going, come say hi, but don't say F Ice. Then we're going to play. Look, I'm not going to try and be a jerk at the old media scrum, but there's going to be some questions asked if the opportunities come up. Just going to say that. AEW is selling some tickets, by the way. We're going to talk about that when we return. Taking a look at that Revolution card. And what else? Oh, and Free Bella. Yeah! She lost her mind. We'll be right back.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Hey, I'm just putting my arms around all my wrestling fans. We're going to be wrapping up the show. It's the best of pro wrestling right here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas. Great ratings, great fans, great town, great pro wrestling. So, once again, AEW Revolution coming up here. Well, it'll be today. I'm pre-recording the show. I might listen to the show in the car and tear myself apart. I don't know. We'll find out. But going to be a great time down in LA as we look forward to another outstanding pay-per-view coming up. Tony Khan. We got some good news and we got some selling some tickets for AEW Double or Nothing that's out there in New York. And Tony can't be too disappointed about that one. No siree, Bob. Tony has got a bunch of tickets sold for this thing. And right now, 8,225 tickets as of what I saw, I believe, yesterday. Distributed on the second day of the general sale. That surpasses the final ticket count for Double or Nothing 2025. Good for Tony. Good for AEW. They got to be enjoying that. So you guys out there in New York, when you get to see Double or Nothing, hey, Mondami might be there. Oh boy, Zora Mondani. Maybe you can go to a prayer meeting in his office. Just bring your rug. But it should be a lot of fun. So nice run for AEW as they continue to generally stay on a upward trajectory, starting to rebound from where they were about a year and a half ago. Now, Tony also, this is, guys, you should hit me with some tweets on the way when I'm in the car. What should I ask Tony Khan? I know 2 questions that I would like to ask Tony. Not going to say what they are. But this certainly could be one of them. As we know, AEW's home and Warner Bros. Discovery has now been purchased by Paramount. The Ellison family, known as a conservative family, probably not going to put up with some of the BS that's been going on at any of their newly acquired channels and media properties. And a lot of people think that Tony might have been happier being over at Netflix, but he's happy. He's took a pink. He's loving it. Now that we've had the announcement, something I'm very excited for, to have Paramount coming in and to be able to bring in even more viewers through streaming and TV with all the great platforms that they'll bring in, including the viewers of Paramount Plus and their great TV channels and all the exciting ideas and innovations they're going to bring and the technological expertise of the Ellison family. These are all things that I'm thrilled about. And he did mention UFC, which under the TKO banner, which could cause some trouble down the road. There are tons of sports that exist on these platforms. I would love to be on the same channel as UFC. Yeah, that's pretty obvious point. I have a great relationship with Dana White and Hunter Campbell, while their sister promotion is also in pro wrestling and is of a competitive nature there. I think that on my behalf, I would love to be on the same channel as UFC. I see a lot of positive unity to that. And so I think this will bode well for AEW and our fans, and I'm very excited for it. So thanks for asking. I love Tony. He's a great guy. He really is. Tony, they ain't putting you on the same channel as UFC. I will come wash one of the mats after a Dynamite if that happens. No problem, man. I'll work the ring crew. If we ever see AEW on the same channel as UFC, not happening. He better be ready. And speaking of that, myaew.com was created. Just opened up this week. AEW streaming service that is being used by everybody outside of the United States and Canada. It comes full circle, kids, because we had the WWE network. Now we have myaew.com. Now we here in the US and Canada can't access it. But Tony's, I'm sure, going to upload a ton of stuff there. And they'll be ready. What? We can't be on HBO Max anymore? You're merging it with Paramount Plus and we're not going to be there? Okay, myaew.com. Brilliant. Smart thinking. Smart thinking by Tony Khan and AEW. I would certainly be okay with checking out myaew.com. And if you can find a way to maybe bring those pay-per-view prices down a little bit. This is one of those things that I really believe that, you know, if you take the price down just a little, a noticeable drop, maybe 10 or 15 bucks. Do what you do with Amazon, man. You know, throw in a gift card or something. Great idea. But boy, oh boy. This is great business by the Cons. So credit to Tony for just, we've got it here. It's in our back pocket. And we know that if we have to go to it, we're going to go to it. Great job. Great job by AEW. And, you know, so myaew.com is going to be getting rolling. And bear with me 1 second. But AEW Revolution, that's going to be just an outstanding card. And we talked about it with Scoop in the first hour. But when you take a look at what is coming at you, a showdown Ricochet and Tommaso Ciampa, possibly in that Blackjack Battle Royal. Yep, good. Well, Nightingale pulling double duty. The MJF Hangman match. I said, I've said this a couple times on the show. Why did we have to have that stupid if Page loses, he can't challenge for the title anymore? At some point, I need to go back where he said that and see if there was a way out. You can't Cody Rhodes him again. Can't do it. Very bad idea. FTR Young Bucks tag team near perfection for the I love FTR. I also appreciate what the Bucks do. Sometimes it's a little, shall we say, coordinated. A little too much. But I do generally get what they do. And man, they can get heat. They're awesome. That's happening. Tekla and Chris Statlander. What a bring in by Tony to get Tekla. And, I feel bad for Chris, but she's not getting that title back. At least not right now. We've got the Babes of Wrath, like I said, Will Nightingale. This is interesting because Lena Cross is filling in for Penelope Ford. So I still wouldn't be surprised if Mega Bane wins, but that should be a pretty good time. Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy. You see Darby was jumping off the side of a mountain or something this week. Go look that one up. I think I reposted it at Mark Hoke Show on the old X Machine. Darby, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong. Guys, I have a feeling either Orange or Roderick is going to be taking a pinfall defeat at the hands of David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd. And boy, did David Finlay go off. He was asked about, why he didn't go and do that work at NXT with his brother and his dad. And he said, I never made a lot of money with my dad and my brother. I made money with these guys in New Japan. I'll stick with them. Thanks. Wow. And was making another comment about his dad too. David Finlay. That's what you're going to get with David Finlay. Better be ready. You AEWites. But the Dogs make their pay-per-view debut in a Tornado Trios match. Moxley and Takeshita for the AEW Continental Championship. Man, that's going to be fun. No time limit. Now, wouldn't that be a hoot if they had like a 30-second little squash match? Oh, but they won't. Come on. You think Mox is going to do a 2-minute escapade with Takeshita? No. Is it? Let me know on X what you think. Is it going to be under 30, 30 to 45, 45 to 60, or more? Because knowing Tony and watching AEW, you know what? That match could go out in the stands and they could be fighting through the match with Andrade El Idolo and Bandito and Brody King and Swerve Strickland. And they end up showing up in the middle of the Tekla Chris Statlander match. That would be funny. But get ready, kids, because Mox and Takeshita are coming at you. Don Callis family, Okada, Fletcher, Mark Davis. Mark Davis getting some love. Mystico and Jet Speed. Kevin Knight. Oh, is he going to fall into the spell of Swerve Strickland? And Speedball Mike Bailey just continues to absolutely impress. Tony Storm and Marina Shafir, they're going to hurt each other. Can't wait. So a lot of great stuff happening on Sunday. I would recommend that you get that pay-per-view. And then don't forget to tune into the media scrum afterward. Who asked the questions? Not the fat slob. Not the goofy girl who is proud of her ice articles. Right. We'll have some fun. I don't know. We don't know who's going to be in there. But it should be interesting. Okay, Bree. Brie Bella. Get this. She gets a lot of online haters. And once again, I don't hate the Bellas. Just don't take them seriously. Brie came out and on the Nikki and Brie show, she launched into a rant at haters who constantly attack her on social media. She said, I'm going to take advice or take opinions from people who understand my industry, who have been through my journey, who know what women go through in a male-dominated industry. I'm not going to listen to critics online who have never broken a barrier, who have never been in a room that has been more men than women, who have never been in a room that's like they're never going to have success. And then she went on, let's be honest. Yeah, let's be honest, Brie. Please don't have your husband kick my ass, by the way. Until you walk in someone's shoes, you shouldn't go assuming or making an opinion and look like a blank hole. Do you know what my big thing about social media haters are? Brave fingers, tiny wieners. If you come at me, you just told me you have a tiny wiener. Vienna sausages for Brie Bella. A little Brie on there. Come on, Brie. I get, once again, I get where she's coming from, but man, that's snotty mean girl stuff. And you say they're morons. You give a dissertation on the intelligence and social skills of people like that. But you never know. There might be somebody out there that's hung like a racehorse that's not so happy with your pro wrestling work. And by the way, did you notice they hadn't used her up until this week? They were left for like 5 weeks. She was not giving it a shot. But great, they're going to win the World Tag Team Champions. Like, oh my God. No. Sorry, I was just thinking of bad names for their team after these comments. I cannot do it. Maybe you guys want to give me some funny names to read off on the show next week. Give me something to do while I'm driving down to AEW Revolution. And that, guys, is going to wrap it up for us. I want to thank the Bionic Scoop for coming in. Came in last minute because we had to shift when we were recording the show. And Scoop did a great job. Really do appreciate it. And we will, of course, be live reporting down at AEW Revolution. So you're going to want to follow us on the socials. X at Mark Hoke Show. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, The Mark Hoke Show. We'd love to hear from you. We're putting all the show clips and everything up on all those. Check it out. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Comments. If you want to say I'm awesome, great. If you want to say I suck, well, you know what? You have a tiny wiener. That's going to do it, everybody. We will see you at AEW Revolution in LA, everybody. Can't wait. Have a great day, Las Vegas. Enjoy yourselves. And we will see you next week here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas.